Welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and this is another patron roster review. This is Dr. She Sith. She is a she. That is awesome, representing the female gamers. There's only 3% female playing this game, so that's awesome. This is only the second time I've had a female roster review, so pretty cool. She's repping the Guardians beta. Now, Guardians, I've done a couple other roster reviews for a couple other Guardians, so shout out to the Guardians. They are an awesome group of people. They do a lot of heroic AAT. If you're looking for a guild, man, Guardians are the way to go for sure. Now, we are looking at the arena ships and heroic AAT, specifically Phase 2 and Phase 3. She really loves her Sith, and so she's really pushing Sith in Phase 3, so I'm going to try to give her how to tweak that Sith team, but she's saying that she has a hard time getting more than 600 to 800k on that team, and it's probably going to be where it stays. You can tweak the team a little, but at some point, Sith in Phase 3 just doesn't go as far as you would hope. But you're a Sith lover, so you're going to continue to use your Sith, so let's try and tweak those teams. All right, for Arena, couple of things. One, I know you got a ton of Rex you're going against, which is why you're Darth Nihilus. Smart. Although you're probably seeing a ton of Rebels and you're wondering, what do I do about that? And my suggestion is Darth Maul. Darth Maul with his days shuts all that bonus turn meter down, shuts all of that countering down, and so you really want days in here and you don't have it. So my suggestion would be to probably eliminate Kylo Ren. What? Kylo Ren, yes. His durability, his offense nature is amazing, but I'd probably put Darth Maul in there. Or, this is the other option, go Darth Maul lead. Because you are so Sith heavy, you can do whatever the heck you want, and that means you get to change it up however you see fit. Darth Maul, with his days, really does help prevent everybody from getting all of the Rex turn meter that Rex provides, and so he's really the counter to Rex. The only thing is, of course, Rex is going to cleanse. You're going to have that problem regardless, and the extra turn meter with Darth Nihilus as a leader is still nullified with Darth Maul in his days. So both of them are going to really work against preventing the team that you're going against from getting that extra turn meter. But with Darth Maul, there's just so much more resistance because of all of the dodging. And you know, on defense, when people are trying to fight a Darth Maul team, it seems like you can't hit anybody ever. It's super annoying, and you've got all of the amazing Sith maxed out, and so this is your opportunity now to really try and play Darth Maul. Plus, Darth Maul kind of fell away. A lot of people aren't using him anymore in most arena leaderboards because of the Rex meta climb, and so now you actually could see a resurgence of Darth Maul because there's other teams coming into play now that Rex is out that Darth Maul is good against. So for example, the team I use, which is an Empire team, is destroyed pretty good by a Darth Maul team, but does really well against other comps. So I would suggest trying Darth Maul now as the leader, using Savage as your cleanser, and of course just his insanity he has with Sith Assassin. Sith Assassin for speed, Darth Nihilus, because come on, it's Darth Nihilus. And then for your fifth slot, either Kylo if you're really sold out on Kylo Ren because of his offensive nature, or your Sith Trooper. Sith Trooper is a beast, and I would definitely recommend Sith Trooper in this lineup for sure. So you could either tweak your original team with Darth Nihilus lead, or I would go back to a Darth Maul lead with Savage, Sith Assassin, Darth Nihilus, and with the Sith Trooper. That would just be a very durable team. And with Sith Trooper, when he taunts, with all these other Sith, he's going to have, you know, retribution and taunt up and all that kind of stuff, defense up. He's not going to be stealth. It's going to force them to hit him, and then they're going to hit Sith Trooper, and then Savage is going to constantly cleanse him. So even if they put health down and things like that, he's going to stick around for a very long time. So defense mods for sure on Sith Trooper, and as much protection as physically possible. Definitely want to do that, and in your Savage will keep him cleansed. So you've got a really amazing Sith group. It's pretty awesome to see. And then for Heroic AAT, you know Phase 1's Jedis, you know Phase 4 is going to be clones, so you've got that figured out. You really want to know what to do in Phase 2. So Phase 2, I would do either Rebels or Resistance. And Rebels is my first suggestion, but, you know, with your Rebels, you're kind of looking a little rabble-y. You've got, with Princess Leia, your most popular, or your strongest being gone, you're really looking at that top 5 with Sabine, Ezra, Hera, and Stormtrooper Han and Lando, and that's just kind of a rabble, doesn't seem very synergistic. So my suggestion actually switches over to a resistance team. And the reason for this is a resistance team only needs one Zeta. You only have to have one Zeta, and that is on Finn. Now, your resistance doesn't look amazing. They're not very leveled up. They're gear 6 mostly, a gear 7 and a gear 8, but I would highly recommend making sure you get Finn to 7 stars and leveling these guys up like the Sith. Now, once you get them up to at least gear 10, you will be able to run through P2 and get a couple million damage pretty easily with this team. And I would probably use Rey since she's already gear 10 and does so much damage, but you definitely want to get your Finn to 7 stars so you can use him, and he'll be the leader. And it's only one Zeta to get this team going, and 2 to 3 million damage is really nice. It'll give you a higher damage output for phase 2 and make you feel better when you're participating in the raids. Plus, you need them anyway for speed mods, which is really, really important in the in-game, as well as there are events that require these characters, and this will help you with those events. Now back to Sith, because phase 3 you use your Sith and you're using Darth Nihilus lead, so that way you can have them gaining health with Darth Maul underneath, Darth Sidious, those are both AoE experts, and Darth Vader AoE experts. So what you're turning this into is an AoE fest with all of them doing massive damage to all of the ad bots in phase 3 and taking them out. So the only downside to that is when you take them all out, they just repopulate, but you could be using Boba Fett or Sith Assassin in there. Sith Assassin speeds the team up, gets them to take turns faster, and Boba Fett he just does very, very well in a team such as this. But you also have the Sith Trooper, which will help keep your team alive longer. My suggestion is the Sith team is to do what you're doing, or you could try the arena team I suggested, because the arena team is going to have a lot of dodging and stealthing and a lot of durability with your Sith Trooper and your Savage combo. Savage keeping Sith Trooper cleansed and Sith Trooper constantly re-taunting. He constantly throws that taunt up, and they do dispel that taunt, and so you want to make sure you have a tank to kind of keep them around. So Darth Maul lead, Savage, Sith Assassin, Darth Nihilus, and Sith Trooper. That team should do more damage than what you're currently getting with your Darth Nihilus led team, but we'll see. The only downside to my suggestions in both Arena and Phase 3 is you have them all modded one way specifically to follow Darth Nihilus as the leader, and now you're going to have to switch all the mods around because you're going to want, like always, speed secondaries, but instead of like offense being your primary on everything, you're going to want to switch that to critical chance and critical damage, because if you're doing Darth Maul, you're going to want to have as much critical damage as possible in this raid. Now, you are going to get more damage output doing this, but it's going to take you to remod all these characters, and if you're going to remod them for Arena, you might as well use them in Phase 3 like that. Or if you're going to remod them for Phase 3 like that, you might as well use them in Arena. So you kind of have to, you're at a standstill. Do you keep it the same like you've been doing in Arena and Phase 3? Or do you swap it up and try Darth Maul lead again with the switch up of mods? But the mod switch is super, super important if you're going to do this. And then the last is ships. So when looking at your fleet arena, one thing sticks out to me that I'm kind of curious about is you're essentially using all Republic ships, but you're using Admiral Ackbar. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I would either A, switch to Mace Windu's ship. That makes more sense to me because of the amount of Republic ships you're using. Or if you're going to use Admiral Ackbar, you're going to switch a bunch of these ships around, and I would suggest either putting in your Mace and keeping your lineup, or putting in Admiral Ackbar and using this lineup. Biggs as one of the tanks. Biggs is an awesome ship. You know this. You already have used him oftentimes. He's one of the 2 taunting tanks that you should have. Pair him with the Umbaran Starfighter. He's a tank as well. He's got offense and defense down and can dispel on his basic, making sure you can continue to target exactly who and what you want to target. The Imperial TIE Fighter is a must with Biggs, so that way you get target locked down, so that way your Biggs taunts and you can keep your ships safe. This ship is doing pretty well for you. Also, Scimitar in your first lineup will ensure that Biggs gains tons of extra protection under Admiral Ackbar, whom you're currently using as your capital ship anyway. Scimitar would be an excellent choice. And Slave 1, because he does the target lock on his basic, and of course has photon torpedoes and the seismic charge, he is an excellent ship in your top 5. He is also pretty durable as well. In your backup, I would probably have Sun Fac because he's one of your more powerful ships, and if Biggs goes out, you'll have the second taunting tank capable coming in that lineup to back up your Biggs. Next, I would either put in Rex or Ahsoka. Rex is going to provide a little bit of target lock in the end game of the ships, or he's going to provide that extra turn meter and the extra protection regeneration, kind of like Jedi Consular. So if you're looking for more defensiveness, Rex. If you're looking for an attacker that may do a little more damage and is a little faster, you would go with Ahsoka. And then for the third slot and backup, of course, I would use your Jedi Consular. He is just a good average ship that does everything from calling assists, hits decently, and raises protection up with average speeds. He's a great last ship in your lineup of 8. So definitely that's what I would do with ships. So Dr. Sheesith, what do you think? Are you ready to give up your Darth Nihilus-led team to go back to Darth Maul, or are you going to completely disregard every suggestion I made? You're welcome to do whichever. This roster review was simply what I think you should do, and I know it's going to be tough because Darth Nihilus-led teams are a passion of mine as well. I know you've seen my videos on Darth Nihilus. Love him to death, especially as a leader, but I do feel like since the meta is now slowly shifting, you might see a resurgence of Darth Maul. And if you're going to use a Darth Maul-led Phase 3 team, it really only makes sense to put him back into Arena because of the way you have to mod your characters. It's just not fun to have to switch them. And I know you're sold out Sith, and you're going to want to get more damage in Phase 3, and I really feel you can get more damage in Phase 3 using the Darth Maul Savage, Sith Assassin, Darth Nihilus, Sith Trooper team I suggested. As always, leave comments down below of what you think she should do. Keep your gaming on. Warrior, out.